Every city has a breaking point.
But you see, they have a fentanyl outbreak down here. You see when people are like this, they're on fentanyl at the end of the day.
This is Toronto's. On the corner of Yonge and Church, the most dangerous drug in the world is changing everything.
Less than a grain of rice to kill you.
On the streets, one drug has become a silent killer.
Fentanyl.
But it's not the only one.
Toronto, a city of lights. But a few blocks away, another world exists. Today, we'll get closer to the story, speaking with victims of this drug and the ones who sell it.
Hey bro, how you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, where are you from?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe? How long have you been in Canada?
23 years.
23 years?
Yes.
How long have you been in Toronto?
Most of the time.
What's your typical day routine like in downtown Toronto?
Well, it varies. Each day is different. It's not the same as every day.
I have an addiction. I smoke crack cocaine on a regular basis. So I stay up for many, many days. So I travel towards this circuit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But people are like this by nature. The drugs just intensify it. Remember that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the drugs just intensify it. They're like this by nature. You know what I mean? Whether they be nasty and you go to wash different places. Yeah. So the typical day is not, there's lots of violence down here. There's lots of prostitution.
Yeah.
Well, I've been in this neighborhood since 1985.
1985? How's it been like for you?
I mean, it's just like everywhere else, right?
Yeah.
You live, you survive, you have ups, you have downs, you have fights, you have heartaches. I mean, it's life.
Yeah. Well, you look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No matter where you live, it's not about your address. It's not where you live, it's how you live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But one thing about this neighborhood, there's definitely a sense of community.
Yeah.
I mean, we look out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We check up on each other.
Yeah.
And so if we don't see someone for a time, you know what I mean? We reach out to find out what's going on with them, right? So there's more sense of a community here.
This is a daily life for many who walk these streets.
I mean, there's love here too.
Yeah.
I think people miss that a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're judging the book by the cover, right?
Yes. How did you end up on the streets?
Doing a lot of things. Back to thinking of when I was, or how back home is Somalia.
Yeah.
And how much people actually need help. I started to, work hard and send money there.
Send money back home?
Yeah.
Originally, where are you from?
I'm from here in Canada, but
Were you born here?
I was born here. Yes, I was born here.
Have you ever tried to seek help?
Yes, I have. I've been to CAMH.
And what happened?
It didn't work out so well. I think they gave me medication I don't need to take.
How has this impacted your life negatively?
Well, it means that, people could take advantage of my money or not give me anything when I paid. They could bully me, beat me up if I steal their dough.
I came to Toronto to try and start getting an apartment with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
We're not together anymore.
How long has it been?
Like 2 years. So,
2 years.
so when I became homeless, we stopped talking.
Yeah.
And I was living at Fred Victor, so I had an apartment there. I was there for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was evicted when I went to detox.
Well, my name is Peter.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How long have you been out here on the streets?
Entirely?
Yes.
Almost 10 years on and off since I was 14.
How old are you now?
I'm 23.
23.
But currently, at this point, I've been down here for just over 2 years.
Yeah. Do you have any addiction?
Yes.
What addiction do you have?
Drugs.
How long have you been out here on the streets?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
So for 5 years you've been homeless?
I have a home, but I have another situation going on. That's why I don't go home. So I'm actually in the middle of getting transferred.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk about the situation, but it's caused me to be out of my own home.
Yeah.
But it's still, I'm on the lease, so it makes it impossible for me to get a place. anywhere else because I'm actually in housing, right?
Yeah.
On paper, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to talk about addiction?
Um, that's fine.
Are you addicted to any substance?
Yeah, fentanyl and crack.
Centuries ago, Britain and China went to war over opium, a drug that reshaped empires and spread across the world. Even here, hidden labs make and sell it.
We will lock them up and we will throw away the key.
That's why the problem isn't just local. It's not only Toronto. It's New York, Philadelphia.
What do you think the biggest reason they end up on the streets here in the first place is?
Drugs.
Vancouver, even Africa.
Happening in Côte d'Ivoire, in Ghana, in Nigeria.
This is more than a crisis. It's a shadow spreading everywhere. A slow-moving genocide.
How did it start?
I don't know. I started smoking. I started stealing my brother's weed when I was 5 and 6 years of age and started drinking at home. My addiction started at home, but as I got older, it was my choice to continue to use. So I moved to Toronto when I was 15. And then I went to Houston, Texas when I was 19 for a drug addiction program. I was there for 6 months. Yeah.
You did mention addiction.
Yeah.
How long have you?
Well, I was clean for 9 years. Now I've been probably using every day for the last maybe 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years?
Yeah. And I'm 52 now.
How's the journey been like for you? How's the journey been like for you?
Well, it's a journey. Every day we choose what we're going to do, right? Nobody makes that choice for us but ourselves, right? And pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional, right? Yeah.
So what's your addiction? Which one are you addicted to?
I'm addicted to crack cocaine. I don't even think I'm addicted to it. You know what I mean? I do it out of habit. You know what I mean? Like I can go 5, 6 days for whatever reason I choose to use on the 7th day, but I stay up 6, 7 days. You know what I mean? It's disgusting what I do to myself, but I know damn well what I'm doing, right?
How much does it cost you to
Oh, it's an expensive drug, sir. Crack cocaine is expensive.
Yeah,
You can go. Listen to me. I had $3,000 one day. I spent probably $2,000 of that in like 4 hours.
For real?
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, you can go quickly, very quickly. It depends on the quality of the dope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do, Peter? What kind of drugs do you do?
None.
None. What do you? None.
Yes.
What kind of drugs do you do?
Weed.
Weed. That's my brother hasn't smoked marijuana for 25 years. The only drug he's ever done in his whole life. He hasn't smoked weed for 25 years. And what do you do? What kind of narcotics do you do, young lady? What kind of narcotics do you do? You? I'm still a narcotic. What do you do? Because it's a soft drug. That's why you guys don't deem it as a drug because it's soft. But if every day you wake up you feel you need something, you have a dependency upon that substance. Remember that.
At the end of the day, they tell me it's about choices. But how much of a choice do you have?
How do you afford these drugs?
I prostitute. Sometimes it's not all about drugs. It's just, having a drink and staying at, the person's house and, getting their key and getting to know the person in a deeper level.
How do you afford these drugs then?
I have to find ways to get money.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna sabotage that, but everybody has their own hustle.
Yeah.
So you have to do what you have to do. But so it sucks that when people try and sabotage those ways.
Yeah.
And you can't get what you need done still.
But why do people take fentanyl?
People are in pain. People are in pain. You know what I mean? Like I always say, the one thing that keeps us all bothered here is pain, right? Some people, they're in car accidents, and I guess they were prescribed oxys. When they stopped giving that to them, they were already addicted. It was an addictive drug. And they knew that it was addictive, but they didn't pass that information on to their patients. Now they're addicted, and then what? They monetize it again. Because now they have to go out to the streets to get it.
Really?
Yes, they stopped prescribing it because they're saying that, you know what I mean, so much people were going through whatever to get it. They're going to multiple doctors, etc. But then when they couldn't get it, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to turn to crime. They're going to turn to the darker side of society, right? And then what happens? They get arrested. Police officers get paid. The judge gets paid. The CO gets paid. The correctional officer gets paid. You know what I mean? And so on, so on, so on. The social workers get paid, right? Freaking, what do you call it? Children's Aid Society gets paid. Everybody's making the money, but the people that need the help.
Who are the people who sell these drugs?
A lot we do with them. We do too. You know what I mean? It's there are a lot of people that sell drugs. They're on the street too.
How much does it cost?
For a point, which isn't very much, of fentanyl, it'll cost you $20, anywhere from 50 to $20, maybe 10 to $20. And I mean, it's gone, it's up in smoke within like a few pulls. It's
How much do you
basically
spend on it every day?
You want honestly? Minimally, I spend $300 a day. At the most, if I'm sharing with other people and stuff. Or
$200?
No, $300.
$300?
At the most, I'm spending $600.
Every day?
Yeah, every day, yes.
So what happens when you run out of cash?
I go to sleep. Or I still try to get more, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. How does these drugs get into this country?
well, the fentanyl is just here, right? I think it comes from China, the car fentanyl. And the cocaine, it comes from, I mean, lots of different places. But it gets here because the government lets it get here.
What are you addicted to?
I'm addicted to the thought.
To what?
The thought.
Do you want to enlighten me more about that, on that? What's a story you would like to share about addiction?
I don't know. I guess everybody suffers from some form of addiction, whether it be prevalent or not, whether it be weed, whether it be alcohol, whether it be shopping, this and that. You know what I mean? But it's not even the drugs that are the issue. The drugs are just what people see. It's the underlying issue. It's what's the reasons why we get high, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, some people have no issues and they can just get high, and there's other people who try to mask it. But at the end of the day, the reality of the situation, the shit is still there before, during, and afterwards. It doesn't get any better.
Do you have any addiction?
Yes, I struggle with cocaine and fentanyl. I used to struggle more with crystal meth, but I stopped.
Yeah. How has that impacted your life?
It's made it hard for me to get along with people. To be honest, I find that people hate me more often, and they're very mean, and they're like bullying and making fun of me more than like understanding that I'm a pained person.
Yeah. How long have you been addicted to this?
Oh, I've been addicted since 12.
Since 12?
Yeah.
That must have been so hard for you.
Yeah. It's been my whole life.
Yeah. How much does it cost you to get this every day?
Well, to be honest, it varies from $5 to $100.
$5 to $100?
Yeah. It's really good high grade. Sometimes it's very shitty.
Sorry. What does that do to you?
But it frees my mentality up a bit, and it makes me feel better about myself.
It makes you feel better about yourself?
About myself, yeah.
In what kind of way?
Like I feel less stressed, I feel more relieved, happy, and courageous.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how addicted are you to this?
10.
10?
Yeah.
How many people do you think must have been affected by fentanyl?
How many people?
Yeah.
I think that number is astronomical. I don't think it's a number that I can even fathom because, I mean, it's a global issue. Yeah. It's not just Toronto. It's worldwide. I mean, every family has been touched by it, whether directly or indirectly. So everybody knows somebody that has, you know what I mean, that knows somebody that has been lost a life, yes, or is addicted to it or going through the pains of it. You know what I mean? It's definitely a global issue. Yeah. I mean, when you look at New York City, you look at Philadelphia, I mean, even in Africa, it's everywhere. I mean, yeah, this is like genocide. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's genocide. It's not just addiction. I mean, come on. Can you tell me this is not a part of a plan? You know what I mean? It's systematic, you know what I mean? Because when they had Oxycontins, right? They put that in to help people who had pain. Yeah. And then they just pulled the rug from underneath them. Where do you think people were going to go? Where do you think the end result was going to be? Yeah. You can't tell me you didn't see this coming. I mean, this is like the World Health Organization. You know what I mean? Come on. You knew it was going to happen. If you can't get it one place, you don't look for it somewhere else. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? It's just like when they were talking about the effects of crack cocaine, the effects of heroin. Every so many years, you know what I mean? The hot drug, there's a new drug on the scene. And now we're dealing with fentanyl. Back then they were dealing with heroin. We're dealing with crack cocaine. They're dealing with marijuana. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. So there's like, yeah, they monetize everything. They put it in place. The poor people pay the cost, and the rich people profit. But now look at weed now. Now you can buy shares. Who bought the shares?
Yes.
Exactly.
You're right.
Wasn't the people they put in jail? Wasn't the people they put in jail? Okay.
I agree with you.
All right. So you mean, as I said, they monetize their pain on every single level.
Yeah. How long have you been addicted to it?
6 years on the fentanyl and crack. Yeah, 6 years.
How did it start?
Well, it started with cocaine, and that's been since I was 27. It was over 20 years. 20 years.
Yeah. How were you able to afford that? Because I know cocaine is very, very expensive.
All sorts of ways. Buying, selling, and like boosting, things like that.
What's your story like? How did it start?
Just a boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's just a series of fortunate events in my life just kind of caused me to. Yeah, I don't really want to get into those.
Her words cut deep. For them, addiction isn't just a habit,
Just a lot of
it's
stuff
survival.
happens. Abusive relationship, children's aid, pulling the family apart. Just yeah.
Yeah. What happened to your hand, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, frostbite.
When did this happen?
Around 2023.
Did you go to the hospital?
No.
Why didn't you go to the hospital?
It wasn't that really much of a serious issue. Fentanyl, some people have a tolerance towards it, but as for myself, it's kind of like a difficult one
It's difficult for you.
to take it.
Which one do you take? Don't mind
Just
me
regular marijuana and dope.
Just marijuana?
Yeah,
How long have you been taking marijuana?
since 2012.
How long have you been homeless?
I would say 4 years.
4 years?
Yes,
Without shelter?
yes.
How do you survive during winter?
I sleep on the bench. Those
Over there?
like in the downtown.
Yeah.
You have those things where steam comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I sleep.
What's your story? How did it start?
I lost my place. There was an incident for water damage, so over there, they
Yeah.
do repairs.
Mm-hmm. With the crisis going on in this city, how has it impacted this community right here? Walking around and seeing lots of homeless people who have lost their lives on the street. It must have been so hard.
I live on the north side of the block. Once I cross into this side, it's day and night. It's a completely different world over here. And the impact is that I wouldn't want to bring my kids to play in the playground in this park because of what they'll be exposed to. So that is a loss.
Yeah.
That is a loss of option on one hand, because I have options on the other side which are safer, and they don't see anything that could impact them in a certain way. But over here, and then from the point of view of maybe the victims of the drugs or whatever causes they had them to become homeless and lose their minds, I think there needs to be a bigger approach towards dealing with the source of that addiction than just trying to, band-aid it on the surface. Because, they provide centers for them to go get their medically prescribed, like, official drugs to shoot and all of these other things. Then again, is there a way forward? Is it possible for any of these to get fully healed? And if it is, what is it going to cost, and why are we not doing it,
So how do you survive out here during the winter?
Well, in the winter, I'll try to stay in places warm indoors, but it is hard because sometimes I don't always have a place to stay. In the summertime, it's easier because we can be outside all and even at times.
So you said you went to detox. Why did you go to detox?
I was on the SOS program.
Okay.
So they give you 8 milligram Dilaudid. Yeah, and I got off those medications. No.
How has it been like for you ever since then?
Well, it's been kind of hard because those were helping me get through the day without having to get drugs.
Are you still on medication?
No.
No?
No, it starts off small, like Percocets.
Yeah.
And then, for me, it went from Percocets to hydromorphine. And when those pills, oxys, were discontinued, that's when the needle pandemic started from my town. So lots of people got into needles. And then after that, I came to Toronto and I found the SOS program, and then it was just really heavily into needles on the Dilaudid. And then because I got off the Dilaudid, I started using fentanyl even more. So it's just it starts small, but then it got worse and worse.
Yeah.
So this is a drop-in center during the day.
Yeah. Okay.
The back of it's a drop-in center also.
Mm-hmm.
They have lots of overdoses in the washroom because it's okay to inject in the washroom because you can't smell it, but you can smoke narcotics. And I know you guys shouldn't come down here at nighttime. Nighttime is totally different.
Yeah.
Nighttime there's lots of violence.
For many, this isn't just a crisis, it's the only life they know. Addiction is not born in the streets. Often, it starts at home, long before the sidewalks become the only refuge.
Is it safe out here during the night?
No, well, it depends on what you deem as safe.
Yeah.
Well, for some people it is, for some people it's not. Well, fentanyl is a big one. You see, intravenous drug use in general, I think that's the saddest addiction ever.
Yeah.
Because it's a desperate, and some people are addicted to, and like I've never done it. Some people are addicted to the needle at the end.
Yeah.
Right? So this here is a place called Equity Homes. This is low affordable housing for people.
Yes. This house over here?
Yeah, this here. It's called Equity Home. Now there's a lot of using up here. There's a lot of needle using up here.
Yeah.
And like I go around, I'm a peer educator, so I go around and pick up needles and stuff from all these houses.
Yeah.
Around here, death is just a part of the daily conversation. They say it only takes a speck, less than a grain of rice, to kill. And every day, 3, sometimes 5 people don't make it home. Fentanyl takes over the whole body, blocks the mind, and slowly destroys from within. By the time help arrives, it's often too late.
Right there.
911, what's your emergency?
And for some, it never comes.
If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and drop your comments down below. No, I'm not going to hurt you.
Can you assist the patient to the ground?
Hold on. We just want to make sure she's safe. No.
Did you hear me? Yeah. You must be answer right now. Hold on.
This isn't just one story. It's a cycle that repeats again and again.
You guys be careful down here. Not all people are good people, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Just remember that. Do you have addiction? Do you guys have lots of addicts in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think it's everywhere.
Well, it depends. Yeah, but what kind of drugs? Chat. You guys do chat? No, chat is not from Nigeria.
Yeah, what's chat?
Chat is like this Ethiopian. It's like weed. They eat it though. They put it in their mouth and they eat it. It's called chat.
Yeah.
But you see, they have a fentanyl outbreak down here. You see, when people are like this, they're on fentanyl at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know.
Would you like to enlighten more about fentanyl?
No, I don't know. It's a drug that I wouldn't want to do at the end of the day. It kills people, you know what I mean? It's one thing if it's one thing if you want that drug, but it's another thing if you're passing off something that's not that at the end of the day, then you're killing people. And then you need to be held responsible for that at the end of the day. Because that's not cool.
How many die of overdose every day?
Well, every day, at least 3 or 4. Every day, at least 3 or 4. Since they closed down these safe injection sites, so they had, if they're in a radius from a schoolyard. Now this one can only service 2 people at a time. There's one at Queen West that can service 5, and then they have these other places that they just opened up that services like 25 people. So since they closed them down, there's more overdoses that have been happening.
And I assume that the reasoning behind the city or the province giving it to them would be so that they don't become desperate and then resort to crime and violence in order to get it. That's my assumption. I don't know if that's the fact, but if it's true they get it, that's what made sense to me. Will be the reason why they'll do that. You know, but as far as how they get it, these people, they're resourceful.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that they become. They become extremely crafty and extremely resourceful. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out how to do everything out to get whatever they want.
Yeah. How strong is this drug?
Less than a grain of rice could kill you.
Really? What are the negative effects?
I mean, it's detrimental to your health. I mean, that's the biggest part of it. You see people, they're cutting it with all kinds of things like saladine, that's eating flesh. You know what I mean? It's causing people to go deeper into a life of crime. It's not even something that it's a physical addiction, so it's not something like cigarettes where you can do without. Like, you have to have it or you go into withdrawal.
How long does someone has to take it to get addicted to it?
Well, I would say that, I mean, for the first couple of times, I mean, it doesn't take much, because if you were used to opiates, it's just like one for the other, right? So it's already in your system. It will be easy for you to get addicted to it. There's oxys, like I said. There's Dilatos. You know what I mean? There's a few of them. But I mean, they still have all the same effects. You know what I mean? It still shows up negative in your health. It affects you negatively, it affects society negatively. And then they want to close the safe injection site. So where are people going to go? I mean, who's going to support them when they start using? Who's going to keep them alive? I mean, in this community, like since, I would say since like 2019, really and truly, the amount of people that have lost their lives.
Really?
I think you should go on the Homeless Memorial and just get on an online memorial where they don't list all, but they list a lot of the homeless people who
They
passed
lose
away.
their lives because
Overdose.
of overdose.
Overdose, yes. You know what I mean? So if that much people have lost their lives and then now they want to close the safe injection sites, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to lead to more death. I mean, they had something going around here a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was a bad batch or something. Like in one day, 5 people in the space of no time overdose.
Really?
Yeah. So think about if those people didn't have somebody there to you know what I mean? Give them CPR, to give them Narcan. But if they were in a back alley somewhere and nobody saw them, they would be dead.
If you got help to quit, would you?
I don't know.
Are you so addicted to fentanyl in such a way that it's really hard for you to quit?
Yeah.
How hard have you tried?
I've been on a detox twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Would you like to go detox again?
It's not easy getting into the programs.
Yeah.
Or even like rehab. Like you have to go through gains programs, and that can take up to a year. Just finding a good center to get into, like you could be dead before you even get into a rehab.
Pardon?
It just kind of seems impossible at this moment.
Yeah.
I don't feel like changing. I know, like right now, now I feel like triggered. So I don't want to use.
You don't want to. You don't feel like change. You don't feel like quitting.
At this moment, no.
Why? What does it do to you?
I feel triggered.
In a good way or in a bad way?
And like a bad way, like just talking about these things makes me want to just go get high again.
Have you tried to seek help?
No.
Why?
It's so hard to when you're busy trying to juggle the addiction. Like, when do you stop and seek help, and then where do you start? How do they contact you? How do you get there? Like, it's really complicated. There's enough programs like out and about around, like where we can get in touch with them, touch with people and programs.
Seeing people who have lost their lives.
Yeah.
I really do feel for these people. For some, they don't want to get help.
Yeah, some people, I mean, I guess it's, there are different reasons that bring people out in the streets, like to be in that condition. Could be drugs, could be like heartbreaks, could be whatnot, like whatever the causes are. But like, I guess the objective should be, is there a way to get them back? And if it is, what is the cost? Can we do it? Let's do it if we can. You know, like, that's how I think about it.
We're still out here on the streets trying to know their truth.
Yo, buddy, go shine that camera over here, yo. Yeah, follow my page, Read in the Street, if you guys want to see more content around here.
What happened to your toes?
I went out in the snow for 2 days straight and I lost my toes.
How long has it been?
It's been about 4 years.
4 years. Did you go to the hospital?
Yes, I went right away. Actually, I didn't go right away. I took a couple of days. And when I went, they were very surprised at how damaged I was.
Yeah. How long have you been out on the streets?
10 years.
So how do you survive out here on the streets? What keeps you going?
My faith.
Your faith?
Yes.
That's good.
Don't do it. It's a fucking terrible decision. Biggest mistake I've ever made. Under 2 years, I think.
Have you thought about quitting?
Yeah.
What effect does it have on you?
In what sense? Like doing it or being sick from it?
Negative effect.
I've died like 4 times off it, you know, and been brought back.
So when I heard about the struggle in where my nationality, Somalia, is, I said I wanted to send money to random people, just random people from Somalia. and
Some pay with their bodies,
tribalism
some their families, others their lives.
studying about me and found out a couple of things and that made me stronger.
Have you tried to seek help?
I try to seek help, yes.
Fentanyl itself isn't new. It was first created in Belgium in 1959 by a chemist named Paul Janssen. It was originally developed as a powerful medical painkiller used in hospitals, especially for surgery and cancer patients.
Well, it kills you. And if it doesn't kill you, the actual drug doesn't kill you, then the lifestyle that goes with it is definitely going to kill you. You're going to catch something, you're going to die from that, and then not getting medical, seeking medical attention, taking your medications and stuff. You're going to die from something you catch, or you're going to die from the drug itself. I'm not going to get into how, but I mean, there's a lot of negative. All my friends are dead, and they keep dropping like flies.
How many of your friends are dead?
I couldn't count. I couldn't count. This community has been reduced in more than 1/3 of the population. Since I came out here 5 years ago, they're all dead. Like sometimes we're losing like five in a week. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
5 in a week?
Yeah, that's the most I've ever seen us lose in 1 week in this city block. Yeah.
I see you have something on your arm. Is this something you want to talk about?
No, it's an abscess. It's an abscess. I bumped my arm, but the abscess is like my lifestyle. My immune system isn't that great. That's why the abscess is there.
Have you tried seeking help?
Yeah, there's help for it. Somebody keeps stealing my bag. It has my medication in it, so the antibiotics. So, which it caused me to be resistant to some of my things to become resistant to antibiotics because somebody keeps stealing my shit. People steal out here all the time from each other. So.
And programs meant to save lives are shutting down. Others never reached the people who needed them the most. Every time a door closes, another life is lost.
Yeah, this happen all the time, brother. I've been here for 10 years.
Okay.
To this street, I live the street. I pass all the time here, and I see like a lot of people die, brother. A lot of people die for those overdose. They use what's it called again? Fentanyl. They call Fentanyl. That is very bad. So they use. I see like a lot of people. Some 2-3 people die in Allen Gardner. If you go straight, they have Allen Gardner. Yeah, a lot of people died there too. I know like 5 people overdose die. Who the people I used to talk to them. So when I see that, it's not good, man. So I don't know what we can do about this.
So
the government,
especially in cases like this, you're calling 911 now. How long do you think it might actually take them to get here?
it depends. Sometimes right now I'm on the line. You see, like for 5 minutes in advance, somebody can be dead like that. Sometimes the 911 is supposed to be fast. When you call, they answer you direct and they come in 5 minutes, but they will be safe. Like this lady, she's here. If it takes so long, maybe she will be dead, you know? Oh, a lot of people die, man. The people I already know for 3 years, I know like 5 people die in 3 years. 5 people die with overdose. So it's too much. Yeah, it's too much. It's crazy.
Thanks,
it's crazy,
bro.
no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Do you have a lock on in there?
Yeah. No, no. Brother, why didn't you wait your bed? Go get her one.
Brother.
She is unconscious.
You have not come?
From where?
Are they ringing?
Yeah, she is.
No, we're not right now.
Yeah, we already did.
Yeah.
Lucky the police is here.
Okay.
Yeah, we need the ambulance fast.
Yeah, we administered. No.
We administered it twice, but not.
Can you stern them, Rob?
Yeah.
She's awake.
Yeah, she is.
Okay. He know how to do it, you know. All right, ma'am. Ma'am, I need you to wake
You can end the call now.
Hey.
Thank you.
We already have an officer here. Thank you.
Hey. Wake up.
We already have an officer here.
Can you stand up for me? Let's stand up.
We have an.
The officer used a stunner roll,
She just got up. We have
a
an officer
painful
here
pressure
already.
test paramedics use to check responsiveness.
Yeah, you can cancel it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. No, so in case of an emergency, just not get fast enough.
Push your knuckle really hard, and it hurts a lot, but it causes a response.
Okay. Yeah.
It's meant to hurt. It's supposed to wake you up.
Sorry, you guys shouldn't see where my friend went by any chance. He was here,
10 minutes ago.
he took off? Obviously.
All right, ma'am. Let's collect your belongings. Where you been staying?
My family was.
Homeless? So you haven't been staying at a shelter, nothing like that?
We got to the warming center, on Elizabeth Street for the winter time.
Elizabeth Street?
Yeah.
Okay, should we go now or should we go?
You don't sleep?
Victory sleep.
The crisis isn't just numbers on a report. These are faces. These are real people.
I just rode through the park, what's the name, by Queen Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. It's like they're camps now.
And we've seen a lot of people passing out on the streets.
Yeah, all the time, passing out on the trains, passing out like at the train stations and street corners, and then ambulance shows up and then they're not dead. Then they get up and then they walk off, it's like some sort of over, but it's like hell. It's like, there's a certain notion like, you are not your mistakes, it's okay, just be that. Instead of being accountable and letting people know you fucked up, this is the process we're gonna do to help you. It's gonna be painful and difficult. You're gonna do it, or you're not gonna do it, or whatever. Like, instead of baby them, there needs to be a way that is actually more effective than just doing something that's politically correct. Just to be seen to be doing something, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
who are the people behind these drugs?
Who are the people behind the drugs? Well, there's somebody behind all of them at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you get one guy, the next guy just comes out and does it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a vicious cycle. So this place here, they just opened up recently. So it used to be called the O'Neill program, but now it's called the Spive.
Okay.
Okay, so this is like they'll answer your questions there. They'll talk to you there.
Okay.
Okay, here. So where's your crew?
Huh?
Where are they?
I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't create the situation. The government created the situation.
Yeah.
Right? It could have been handled a whole lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they didn't. They just they group everybody same. There were similar issues in one area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you know what I mean. They judge us, and then they make money off us.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's unfair because I mean, it's like you're having it both ways. Like you're calling us names, and then you're monetizing our pain. I mean, all throughout the system, they're monetizing their pain. Whether it's the judicial system, whether it's the health system, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. They make money off us. Yeah.
What advice would you give to anyone who has never tried it?
Don't do it. It's fucking terrible. Like, so beyond terrible.
Do you think the government is doing something about this to put?
Not enough. The government, I don't know. They on the surface, yes, but where it really matters, no. They come up with these programs, they set these budgets. Okay. So people go right in and say, okay, they want to start a program. Okay, I'll take the safe injection sites, for example, because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Addiction isn't a 9-to-5 thing. It's a 24-hour thing. Why is the safe injection sites only open 9 to 5? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, they're doing something. But are they really addressing the need? No, they're not. I'm not one to give advice. I always say take a look around you and make a decision for yourself. Make an educated decision. Don't let somebody just talk you into something that you know nothing about. Do your homework. Look twice. You know what I mean? Look twice. Like, a lot of people didn't realize, the depths of this thing, before they got into it. And when you get into it, then it's too late. Addiction is a real thing. It really is. And you know what? Rehabs, anyways, leave that for another time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you think it's possible to put a stop to this?
I've heard that it's possible, and the source, I think, is a bit controversial. So people will write it off and may not even want to look into it. But in a certain documentary I saw by, I can't remember who it was by, but they spoke about an old man from America whose name was Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
Prophet Elijah Muhammad. I think he was the founder of a Nation of Islam.
Okay.
And they say what he did was he took all of the black men in the neighborhoods, the ghettos, who are junkies and drug addicts, just like this one, took all of them away from the neighborhood to some faraway place. And then in a matter of about 6 months, some of them, the rehabilitated ones, were brought back into the neighborhood, and people could see day and night difference in them. And I hear what they did was more of the nutrition. They completely changed their diets, and they were strict with it before they even tried to get them to do anything, like getting them clean and getting them good nutrition for an extended period of time work in that.
For the ones who wanted to be clean.
No, they just took them by force. That's what I heard. I guess that's the part that people hate. Like, how dare you take these people by force? But that's what they did. And then I kind of believe it a little bit because I've heard of people curing these kind of things, physical and mental illnesses, with food.
So do you think the government had done anything to put it?
Not really. Not really. I think they should have implemented more of these safe injection sites, and they should have like, I don't know. They need people who can train people, because some people can't shoot themselves up. But that's not something I'm doing at the end of the day. But in Vancouver, they have a program that if you can't inject yourself, they will do it for you. But they don't really do it. So they put their hand on the top of the needle, and then they push it down on top of your hand. Like, they won't just physically do it themselves.
What's an advice you would give to your younger self?
To not even touch drugs, to not even touch them. It's not worth it, right? Yeah.
So what advice would you give to anyone who has never tried it before?
Don't waste your life, right? You only live once, and you pay a huge price for using, and there's so much other things out there that you can, your family, everything, you use everything when you use drugs, you really do. It's only a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your health, your emotional, physical, everything. You lose everything to drugs. I mean, I think I have hope, definitely still.
This is Toronto.
Did you see on a scale?
Beautiful, yes.
Of 1 to 10?
But Fentanyl writes another story.
7, 8, yeah.
One life at a time.
But other people, like, they're like up to 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Like I have my kids and my grandbabies, and other people that are still there for me. So a lot of people don't.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
My younger self, I don't know. I just wouldn't have started at the end of the day. But you see, like I said, my addiction started at home. But as I got older, it's my choice to continue to use, right? It's all about choices. We choose that. If we wake up in the morning, you choose to smoke a spliff. I choose to smoke crack cocaine at the end, for whatever reason, you know what I mean? What I do is stupid. I'm not stupid, though.
No, you're not.
No, thank you so much. Hey, Peter, it's been my
Appreciate it.
This is an educational video. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. So what's an advice you would like to give to your younger self?
To my younger self, not to have sex with boys, and to be mature about decision making.
Yeah. What's an advice you'd give to someone who has never had any of these drugs?
I would say, don't start, and to please respect your family and friends that care about you. If they're financing you, don't disrespect them, don't neglect them, and don't teach other people to do drugs unless they can handle it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. You do have yourself a good day, okay?
Okay, thanks for supporting, and I really am Sherburne Dundas. Love you.